Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I'm your guide, Elpy. This is mixed worm bin number 4. Today is the 17th of January, 2025. And, yeah, it's been 5 days since we were in here on the 12th. And we've been checking on, we had a moisture problem we discovered on the 6th, and we added a box to, help remedy that, and a whole bunch of paper. No condensation on the, well, there is condensation on the bubble mailer, but no worms. Okay, so I've set up a tripod. I've done it like this because I'm going to put a divider in here. But given the craziness of the moisture area, I might actually prefer to be able to show you guys. But let's get our divider. It's going to sort of kind of be a divider. Because this bin, even more so than bin number 1, it's not a, yeah, that'll do. There's going to be enough room for the worms to get around this. So I'm not worried about putting any holes in it. And in bin number 1, that video should be available for you to see now, which is day, post-pie, day 26. Good looking worm. I actually separated all the big chunks. So I did my best to kind of lift up all the material and then move bigger chunks over here. And in this bin, the way the material looks, what I did in bin 1, I don't usually do. What I'm about to do here is what I normally do, which is I'm just going to put a divider. So 26 days since day for pie, or time for pie, and bins 1 and 2 are out. I did not find their pie, and here's still that mango. We're going to move the mango from the 9th of December. What was I saying? Oh, they're out. Their pie is gone, so they are no longer part of the Time for Pie series. The pie is still in bin number 3, and we'll see about this bin. Nana's Worms pointed out something I didn't even actually think about. She said it was good that the box was sticking up because it should hopefully help to wick some of the moisture. Like, I wish I could say that I did that on purpose. These are good-looking worms. Very, very, very pleased. Okay, the goal here, I'm supposed to be moving stuff around so that I can put this divider and these guys, what we're going to do, yeah, this stuff's way more broken down. I want to say way more broken down than bin 1. Still pretty squishy and wet down there. But we're going to put the divider in and work on getting the right side. We're going to continue to feed the worms on the left side and let the right side be the side that's going to be harvested first. There's so much material. It's going to be interesting. I really need to locate the buckets. I left a lot of my buckets because they have holes in them. That's a nice blue worm, I believe it. Let's see. If this is a blue worm, it has a, no, it's not, a bulging patellum because it's in a good breeding. But see how their colors change, all the worms? This is not a blue worm because, see the yellow tip on the tail? But see how dark it is? Yeah, cool. Okay. But, yeah, so I left my buckets outside with soil in them this year because they have holes in the bottom, and that's what I felt like doing. That's an immature individual, but look how nice and plump he is. Excellent. So, yeah, we are going to have some, we're probably going to have at least 10 gallons, no, yeah, I'm going to have at least 10 gallons worth of castings by, what do I want to do with that? By spring. That'll be good, just in time. Just in time. Okay. Now this is more just the idea, and it doesn't actually, there's still room at the bottom for the worms to navigate. I might come back and poke little holes. Do I have anything around here right now? No, I don't. But I think I'm doing this wrong. It's been a while, I feel like, because I think actually you don't want to really divide them until the worms are actually, until you're actually like, I think I'm premature, to be honest, so don't follow my example. Yeah, I'm really pleased with these worm size. Don't follow my example because I'm pretty sure that you want to divide once the castings are so far along that you actually want the worms. Was that a cocoon or a piece of? But I'm going to leave that divider in there for now because I went to all that trouble. All right. This garlic is going to go over there. Yeah, I am doing this wrong because these castings, this material is not that ready. But like I said, for today, for right now, I'm going to leave that divider in place. This paper, pieces of wood. More so as a marker. It's probably the same individual I just picked up, but this is like how plump they are. This is more so for myself to be looking at how I want this to go. Okay. In that case, I probably should have something like that in bin 1. So I'm going to put this paper and stuff over here just for our looking pleasure. Our observation deck, so to speak. There's our mango, there's our rotting garlic. And now we want to check on how this time for pie feeding zone looks. It wasn't last time, like I said, but it was on the 6th that we put this box in here due to the immense amount of liquid that was at the bottom. Way more standing liquid than I've ever seen. But you see that this population is flourishing. Oh yeah. And I'm really pleased. I can't say it enough. I'm really, really pleased with how with the size of these worms. It's a big fat piece of that's guava. I'm not seeing any pie. I don't think I need the second glove, so I might be able to man the zoom a little bit. Well, in that case, actually, I could go ahead and... Yeah, we don't need... And I need to hurry because I'm running out of space on my phone, apparently. Okay, so I did exactly what I didn't want to do, which was in the video trying to get my phone out, but it'll be worth it because there's evidence of pie. That's pie. What I saw and was feeling was that there is a good deal of worms right here in the middle. Oh yeah. We're gonna have to temporarily put them over here. Yep, I can feel that even through with my gloves. Oh yeah, beautiful. Quick history on this bin. This bin actually started with I started them in a small food container with, it was either 100 or 150 baby European night crawlers. And then I deemed it a mixed worm bin when I saw blue worms in it. So really I'm wondering, you know, if we aren't still seeing given the size of these worms, if we aren't still seeing a majority of European night crawlers. And that's why the size is. So maybe I need to start paying more attention in 3 and 4 and see if we do. In fact, I found one blue worm in each of those bins and I said, well, that's it. And maybe right now with it being winter, we aren't going to find many blue worms, but we might turn around come spring and start really being able to find blue worms in these bins. But let me know in the comments if you see one that I don't. Okay, so that's the box that was there before that I put the time for pie feeding in. I got so excited by the worm ball that, well, we got that one tiny piece of pie, but I've not seen any other evidence. I want to put the worms, keep them over here. I've not seen any other evidence of the pie. That's guava. Technically, we found that little bit of pie, so technically, yeah, see, look at all these worms. Gosh, this has become a massive population. It's really, really, really awesome. I really couldn't be happier. Obviously, the extremely wet, excessively wet conditions, it did not affect. And you see there's no more, well, that's the bottom of the box, so potentially there could be standing fluid underneath the box. But well, that's not pie, that's part of a persimmon. And this paper is very, I mean, there's just so many worms, like, this bin definitely has as many worms as my 2 oldest populations. I really believe it is. that this bin is rivaling them in numbers, really. I really believe that. I don't see any more pie, but technically we did still see pie. Let's just put, okay, so we've got a little bit. I do have food. We do have a little bit. There's a baby worm. Focus. Gosh, it's so crazy how many worms there are. I'm not speaking because I'm thinking. They've got a little bit of food left, but not a whole lot. And what I'm thinking, here's our nice worm ball. But everyone's running away. What I'm thinking is that I think I can stand to feed them. Misplaced a lot of worms. I would rather be over here. So I'm trying to be fair and put them back. Okay, well, to feed or not to feed? Really, the main reason I want to feed is because I have the food. But if the goal is to move these guys to harvest, yeah, I really think I have majority night crawlers over here. If the goal is to move them to harvest, then I want them to, then I need them to complete what's here. So there's my answer. I'm not going to feed them, even though I have food ready. I'm not going to feed them because they still have food, and since the goal is moving towards harvest, then I don't want to distract them with other stuff. Technically, we found pie. It wasn't much, really, but since I'm not going to dig much more in here. I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom this time. Well, maybe we'll reach down there, but it is still wet down there, but the material on top is a good moisture, and we still have this box that's going to continue to wick moisture, and now we have this cardboard, and the worms are content, so I'm not concerned, and I'm not going to feed them today after all. So I think that leaving well enough alone is the way to go with these guys right now. So I'm going to assume that there may have been a little bit more pie, and we're going to say that these guys are still in the running, but we know that they're in third place. They're basically done, but technically I did find pie. And there you go, even more worms down here where we had persimmons. Can't really dive down there without crushing them a lot, so we aren't going to do that. Okay, cool. Well, this was a really interesting check-in for me. Hope it was for you. What do you think? In part because this population is definitely as large as my older two. It's at least, I think it is. I think it's fair to say. Well, it's okay. We'll say it's close because they're big worms, and I do think that there is an abundance of European night crawlers, in part because that's how the population started, and I think that's still the case. So there we have it. We have a divider in place. I guess we'll kind of be comparing. Not really comparing, because this bin, I do think is. I feel like this is more broken down than bin 1. So it's not so much a comparison, but we'll just see how it all works out with me putting the divider just for kind of my own viewing pleasure. But this is where we're going to feed going forward. Because interestingly enough, there's still like a ton of new material over here as a result of this feeding. And then also as a result of me trying to make up for the overabundance of moisture. So, yeah, it works out that this is going to be the side we want to break down. And you see that this side is more shallow by 3 inches. But okay, well, that was mixed worm bin number 4. And now I'm going to go check on the blues who were fed, not the 6th. Maybe it was the 6th. No, it would have been the 3rd. Yeah, they were fed another feeding on the 3rd. Okay, so 3 and 4 are still in the running for pie, although these guys are more out of it than not, but they are still technically, since I found pie. And 1 and 2 are out of the running. So stay tuned. You can follow along in the All Things Worm Farming playlist. I also include other worm farmers in there. It is a growing playlist all the time. And then there is the Time for Pie series, which is this this feeding. And I have a new idea in the works, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for your time and your interest. Let's make sure there are no baby worms or anything. They're going in the blue bin. Be safe. Be well. Bye for now.